chapter 29, Jeremiah's letter of advice to captives in Babylon, and he foretells the fearful end of a couple of prophets. One of them is named Ahab, but it's not the same Ahab, and Zedekiah and Shemaiah. Shemaiah's doom. So that's this later. So we start down in verse 15. Okay, because ye have said, okay, the Lord hath raised us up prophets in Babylon. Okay, the people in Jerusalem, they're saying, the Lord, they're telling everybody, the Lord has raised up prophets. They're in captivity, and actually at the time this was probably written, this was before Jerusalem was destroyed and sacked and destroyed by Nebuchadnezzar's army. But there was previous captivity. The people in Babylon are saying that the Lord has raised us up prophets, okay? And they're in Babylon, okay? And there were prophets that were true prophets and false prophets, okay? And they are talking about the this line, because the Lord has raised us up prophets in Babylon, know that thus saith the Lord of the king that sitteth upon the throne of David, and of all the people that dwelleth in this city, and of your brethren that are not gone forth with you into captivity. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, behold, I will send upon them the sword. He's repeating, what Jeremiah, what the true prophets have been saying all along. Okay, that there's send upon them sword, famine, pestilence, and will make them like vile figs. Yeah, you can think of figs. They're sweet, good for you, all that sort of good stuff. Well, these are like rotten figs, vile. They've fig or any fruit that has been sitting on the tree too long, or fallen to the ground, okay, is not good anymore. And I have one of my apple trees. It's my early one, and the apples have already started falling off my early apple tree. But they could be compared to vile figs because they're not good to eat, because they fall, they get bruised, and then the critters get to them. Okay, but they're, so he's saying, these, and he's talking about these false prophets, make them like vile that cannot be eaten. They are so evil. Okay? How would you like to be compared to a bad fruit? Okay? Evil, can't be eaten, can't be trusted, and you might end up on the news these days with somebody's lettuce in somebody's field got salmonella, or there was all that stuff, rotten. And I will persecute them with the sword. Okay? God is saying this about these false prophets. I will persecute them with the sword, and with the famine, and with the pestilence, and will deliver them to be removed to all the kingdoms of the earth. Okay? Anybody who survives famine and pestilence and the sword, will be scattered, all to remove to all the kingdoms of the earth. to be a curse, and an astonishment, and an hissing, okay, and a reproach among all the nations whither I have driven them. And think about the Jewish nation today. Okay, you know, they are back in the land, but you know, all of the nations in the world, pretty much all of the nations in the world, you know, consider them a curse. That you know, they're God's chosen people, but the nations of the world today, and even a bunch of, you know, wackos here in the good old U.S. of A. have decided, oh, you know, Israel is a curse. It's an astonishment, hissing, reproach, okay? And among all the nations whither I have driven them. So that's even going on today. Okay? But we know God is in control. God knows what He is doing. Trust Him. He knows what He's doing. Okay? There is a reason why Israel is going through the stuff they're going through today. Okay? And I think in that one of the kind of the signs of you know, the end is getting near. Okay? Because here's why: they have not hearkened to my words. Okay? These prophets, these false prophets, they're out there saying, "Oh, I'm from the Lord. Yeah, God told me this. God told me that." But they have not actually heard God's word, and if they did hear it, they have not listened. They've not hearkened to my words, saith the Lord, which I sent unto them by my prophets, by my servants. Okay? You know, a true prophet, God calls the true prophets His servants. Okay? God called Nebuchadnezzar His servant. Okay? You know, I'm sending this word by my servants, the prophets, and this is repeating here, rising up early and sending them. This is exactly what you know, Jeremiah was first approached by God and told him, "You're going to be my prophet." Okay, get up early, rise up early, and go and preach. Okay, daily, preach it, preach my word. But you would not hear. They're not listening to the true prophets, God's servants. Okay? They've not hearkened to God's words, but they're listening to these false prophets, which are, you know, we're all okay. Yeah. But ye would not hear, saith the Lord. You're not listening. Okay? So, verse 20. Hear ye therefore the word of the Lord. Listen up, guys, all ye of the captivity. And this is part of the message that Jeremiah, you know, in this letter, that Jeremiah sent over there. You know, and we sent probably, you know, some students. Most of the prophets all, you know, had you know, students, followers, and I'm sure Jeremiah probably did too. Hear ye therefore the word of the Lord, all ye of the captivity, whom I have sent from Jerusalem to Babylon. Okay, listen up, guys. Thus saith the Lord God of hosts, the God of Israel. Okay, now of Ahab, the son of Kolaiah, K-O-L-A-I-A-H, Kolaiah. Okay. So this is not Ahab the king. This is where you need one of those books, you know, dictionary that like I have, that you know, who's who in the Bible. Well, somebody, since this Kolaiah, okay, had a son. He named his son Ahab. Why in the world would anyone want to name their son Ahab, an evil king who did evil in the sight of the Lord?
My dad's name is Ahab.
Hmm? Who?
It ain't gonna fly.
I had to interrupt you with that.
So here's this guy named Ahab. This Ahab was a false prophet during the exile. Okay? He was one of those guys that God is talking about here. Okay? And here he gets mentioned, he gets mentioned. This is about the only time in the Bible that this particular guy, this particular Ahab, gets mentioned. Okay? And he's the son of this guy, Kolaiah. And of Zedekiah, the son of Maaseiah. I'm trying to pronounce them, the way we would pronounce them. They've got the long mark over the vowels, so it's Maaseiah. Close enough. Which prophesy a lie unto you in my name. Okay? Now, can't remember if this. I should have looked up this Zedekiah, because there's King Zedekiah is in there also. Okay? Which prophesy a lie unto you in my name. So this Zedekiah is another false prophet. Okay? And so we've got Ahab and Zedekiah prophesying a lie unto you in my name. They're saying, oh, God said this, in his name. Okay? Behold, I will deliver them into the hand of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, and he shall slay them before your eyes. Okay? These guys are not going to come to a pretty end. King Nebuchadnezzar will kill them, okay, before your eyes, in front of you, in front of the people. It will be if you will, a public execution. Okay? And of them shall be taken up a curse by all the captivity of Judah, which are in Babylon, saying, the Lord make thee like Zedekiah and like Ahab, whom the king of Babylon roasted in the fire. Yeah, burned at the stake. Or, well, roasted in the fire. I don't, however, I'm thinking of the, roasting in the fire. You're hanging by a pole, and they are turning. It's kind of a comic type thing that you see in some movies. Roasted on a spit. There we go. That's it. There we go. Got it. And somebody is turning a crank, turning them over so that they get cooked on both sides.
They used to have dogs that would do that in England. In the old days, they would train them to
turn the spit. Yeah. But yeah.
Oh, bother.
No, really. Look it up.
Yeah. Well, he sees some really odd. He sees some really oddball stuff on some of the YouTube stuff. Yeah. Anyway, but so you know, all of them taken by the curse, and, you know, like Zedekiah, like Ahab, whom the king of Babylon roasted in the fire. Because they have committed villainy in Israel. Okay? They're the bad guys. Okay? They're not the heroes. You know, they are the villains. In the melodramas, you know, you boo the villains, cheer the heroes. Okay? But they have committed villainy, okay? Crimes, and have committed adultery with their neighbors' wives. Yeah, so, hey, these guys are, you know, a lot of these guys, they say, oh, you know, they're saying all this stuff in the name of the Lord, but they are not even obeying the 10 Commandments. Okay? Humility, you know, adultery with their neighbors' wives, and have spoken lying words in my name. You know, lies. Thou shalt not bear false witness. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Okay? So, lying words, which I have not commanded them, even I know and am a witness, saith the Lord. Even I, that's God speaking, I know, God knows, and God is a witness. Okay? Wow. So I'm a witness, saith the Lord. Okay? And we'll stop there.